I stood quietly in the shadows at the back of the hall, where the bright lights couldn't reach me. The air was thick with a blend of cheap perfume and ambition. Parents held up phones and cameras, ready to capture their children's shining moments. Then I heard her name called out, top honors, leader of the year, science champion. My daughter stepped forward like she owned the entire stage. And for a fleeting second, I forgot everything. I forgot who she had become. I forgot who had helped shape her into this person. I even forgot the ache that had taken root deep in my chest. But then she turned toward the audience, her smile wide and gleaming. "I have one final award to present tonight," she said, her voice ringing with playful cruelty. "A surprise for someone who's always made a huge impression." The crowd chuckled lightly, those shallow laughs that crawl under your skin. She raised a small plastic trophy, gold and cheap, world's most embarrassing dad. The audience roared. My ex-wife sat in the front row, clapping the loudest. Her new husband joined in, high-fiving like they'd just won some game. I didn't react. I didn't glance at the trophy or at her. I simply turned and walked out before anyone could see the storm behind my eyes. The next morning, her calls started over and over. I didn't answer a single one. She hadn't expected me to vanish. She certainly hadn't anticipated what was coming. Once, not too long ago, I used to braid her hair every morning, humming as the scent of strawberry shampoo filled the air. She used to call me Daddy Genius whenever I fixed her school projects. I cheered for her at every recital, rain or shine. Each birthday, I baked her a cake from scratch, making sure every detail was perfect. But after the divorce, the distance crept in, quietly at first. A missed weekend here, a colder tone there. Slowly, the cracks widened until they became canyons. My ex-wife had wealth. Her new husband brought connections. All I had was honesty, and that was what they despised the most. They fed her little poison bites wrapped in smiles. "Your dad's harmless, but let's not embarrass ourselves. He means well, sweetie, but you know how awkward he can be." They didn't just pull her away. They reprogrammed her. I saw it in how she tensed when I tried to hug her in public, in how she sneered at my shoes or rolled her eyes at my jokes. One day, when I arrived at her soccer game, she asked me not to come anymore, said I was too cringe. I let it continue far too long, until that ridiculous trophy shattered whatever was left of my patience. 3 days after that ceremony, I filed paperwork. Not for custody. That was long gone. I was after something far more fragile. The truth. I gathered records, bank statements, text messages, court filings. Then I hired someone discreet, someone skilled, and slowly, everything unraveled. I discovered that my ex-wife had emptied my daughter's college fund, the one I had been contributing to since she was born. Every dollar was gone, tied up as collateral for a private loan. Her new husband's failing startup had bled it dry. Worse still, my daughter had no clue. They fed her carefully crafted lies about smart investments and high returns. In reality, it was all smoke that was bound to burn eventually. I just lit the match. It started with a simple envelope left on her desk before her final exam. No name. Inside were the bank statements, the loan agreements, and a photo of her laughing as she handed me that ridiculous trophy with a handwritten note beneath. Asterisk, smile big, kiddo. They already spent your future. Asterisk. Next, I anonymously forwarded forged income statements to the scholarship committee, documents my ex-wife had submitted to qualify for financial aid fraudulently. The fallout was immediate. Within a day, her scholarship was revoked. The collapse unfolded like a symphony, one carefully timed note after another. Not long after, my daughter appeared at my doorstep. No stage lights, no cameras, just a trembling young woman wearing an oversized hoodie, tears running freely. "You did this," she accused, her voice raw. I neither confirmed nor denied. She yelled, cried, and lashed out. When she finally paused, I spoke softly, like a surgeon removing something toxic. "You humiliated me for applause," I said. "I can live with that. What I care about is the truth, and yours was bought, sold, and wrapped in betrayal." She tried to argue, but I continued. They manipulated you, turned you into a pawn, and you handed them the strings. Then I laid the evidence before her, documents showing accounts open in her name, debts she didn't even know she carried, her forged signature staring back at her. Her anger dissolved into stunned silence. 2 weeks later, my ex-wife was facing investigations: financial fraud, identity theft, tax evasion. Her husband? He fled overseas, leaving her to face the wreckage alone. My daughter moved in with me, not because I begged, but because the illusion had finally shattered. She saw what lay beneath the polished surface. Healing didn't happen overnight. I never expected her to apologize or to magically mend what was broken. I didn't need that. But one night, weeks later, she knocked on my door holding a new trophy. This one was solid metal, heavy, unmarked. "I made it in shop class," she said quietly. "I know it can't fix everything, but I wanted you to have something real." I accepted it, setting it gently between us. "I didn't do any of this to punish you," I told her. "I did it so you finally see where the truth lives. The truth doesn't need applause. There's still a scar inside me, a hollow space where blind love used to sit. But I'm not bitter. I'm awake now." She calls me Dad again. Not dude, not embarrassing. Just Dad. She asks questions now. She doesn't assume she already knows the answers. And sometimes I catch her watching me quietly, like she's searching for something she once recognized. Maybe one day she'll find it again. Maybe she won't. But one thing remains certain. They thought laughter would break me. Instead, I buried them.